On their wedding night, the groomsmen suggested a round of truth or dare. I started to refuse, but Ruby, Ethan's one of the guy's best friend, leapt up in instant approval. Noticing my hesitation, she gave me a syrupy, poisonous smile. Sis-in-law, it's your big day, you're not going to wimp out on us, are you? We all stuck around just to keep the party going. She draped an arm across Ethan's shoulders. Bro, we finally get the old crew together and your bride looks down on us. Ethan ruffled her hair fondly. Of course she doesn't. She's always sweet and sensible. She'll play until you're satisfied, won't you, Luna? All eyes turned to me. I smiled. All right, tonight we play as hard as you like. The room erupted in cheers, and the game began. I silently counted heads. Then I laughed. Perfect. Everyone was present. Before we continue, smash that subscribe button and tell us in the comments where you're tuning in from. The moment I agreed, Ruby hooped as if she'd scored a personal victory. See? Ethan never tells me no. Even with a wife, he hasn't forgotten his bro. The others glanced nervously at me. Only after they decided I wasn't furious did they add half-hearted laughs. Ethan looked pleased. He likes to remind me I'm so much more obedient than his ex-sis-in-law. Let's lay down the rules, Ruby chirped. When you lose, no crying, got it? She plunked a beer bottle on the coffee table in the honeymoon suite. Everyone pulled chairs into a circle. I'll start. Spin the bottle. Whoever the neck points at picks, truth or dare. Pick truth, you answer anything, no lies. Pick dare, you do whatever the spinner says. I frowned. Anything at all? She nodded. Naturally. If it's not spicy, what's the point? Her eyes shone. This was our favorite game back at Belmont. The air went strange for a dozen beats, even Ethan's golden boy grin slipped. Then someone urged us to hurry, and the circle tightened. Ruby sent the bottle whirling. 2 lazy turns later T stopped dead in front of Ethan. The guys hooted. Ethan, name the love of your life. Nah, man, which ex was the hottest in bed? Keep it simple, wife or Ruby, who matters more? Or dare, crawl over here and make out with Ruby right now. Ethan shot me a quick glance. We're all brothers here, just joking around, cool? I clenched handfuls of satin skirt. Enjoy yourselves. Ruby cleared her throat theatrically. Truth or dare, bro? He hesitated. Truth. Ruby pouted. Why not dare? Your wife that possessive? It's not like we've never kissed before. Ethan clamped a hand over her mouth. Brat, ask your question. She nipped his palm, he yanked it away with a laugh. The room held its breath, waiting for me to flip the table. I simply sat, the picture of a docile bride. All right, tell us, of your ex and your current wife, who do you love more? Silence crashed over the party. Ruby, maybe pick something else. Yeah, wedding night, let's not go there. She's sitting right here, for God's sake. Bad luck, bad luck. Ruby batted her lashes at me. I'm only curious. You don't mind, right, sis? Everyone has a past. Mind? She was dancing on my personal landmine. I opened my mouth. Come on, it's just a game, Ethan cut in, irritated. Then he answered. Of course I love Luna more. Shaylin isn't fit to carry her shoes. The whole circle exhaled as if a gun had been lowered. Only Ruby's eyes stayed fixed on me, bloodshot with disappointment that I hadn't exploded. The bottle passed to Ethan. He spun, it stopped at Ruby. Truth, she said without pause. Ethan swallowed. Tell us the happiest moment of your life. A flush crawled up her neck. Last night. His jaw tightened. Next round. My turn. I gave the bottle a casual twist. It pointed to one of Ethan's fraternity brothers. Truth, the guy slurred. I tilted my head. Name the most unforgettable scandal in Eastbrook. He blinked, beer-fogged, then snapped his fingers. Easy, Ethan's ex-girlfriend. Nudes leak. Whole city went nuts. That body, next. Ethan barked, face gray. The bottle swung again, back to Ruby. Again she chose truth. The next player grinned like a wolf. So, what exactly happened last night that made you so happy? Ruby gave a fake little gasp. Oh, stop. Last night was Ethan's final bachelor bash, just making sure he was, in working order for the bride. Relax, sis, he passed. She clapped a hand over her mouth, as if only now remembering me. If there'd ever been anything real between us, you wouldn't be here, she added sweetly. Ethan squeezed my fingers. Ruby's still a kid at heart. We hadn't seen her in years, everyone was there. Don't let it bother you. I nodded. She's exactly what people warned me about, only worse in person. Until tonight I'd known her only by reputation. Now the picture was complete. Now, I suppose we're formally introduced. The game continued, and somehow the bottle never pointed to me. Ruby got impatient and snatched someone else's turn to spin. The moment the neck stopped dead on me, she perked up. I chose truth. Sister-in-law, who's better in bed, your ex or Ethan? Every pair of eyes locked on me, even Ethan's, waiting for the answer. I let the hush stretch a beat, then smiled. I don't have an ex. The room exploded in laughter. Ethan, you lucky bastard. You knocked someone up last time, and you still find a bride who's riding the whiskey buzz, Ethan bragged. Exactly. I married Luna because she's pure. Not like certain girls who look innocent but sleep around. One of the groomsmen chimed in, seriously, Shaylin was the prettiest flower in Eastbrook. Sweet little face, turned out to be a total slut. Girl had no sense. Ethan lost a drinking game and jokingly asked her out. She actually said yes. Poor chicks have no vision. She sold her body for a couple grand instead of waiting tables. Faster money, I guess. Can't deny she was good at her job. Without that scandal she would. V climbed high. Ruby snorted. She asked for it, tailing Ethan every day, thinking fairy tales happen to gutter rats. Should have taken a piss and looked at her reflection. They say her parents died young, broke as hell, only an 80-year-old gran at home. Every time I saw that old woman I felt jinxed. Ethan soothed her, she already paid the price. Don't let it ruin your night. Ruby shrugged. Whatever, let's keep playing. I hid the storm in my eyes and sat quietly. The bottle slowed and pointed at Ruby. This time she picked Dare. Ethan's groomsmen had gotten used to my meekness, they were ready to go wild. They ordered her to give the groom a sloppy kiss right then and there. Sister-in-law, if you mind, I'll take 3 shots as forfeit, she said, feigning hesitation. Ethan yanked her over and kissed her in front of everyone. The room held, phones flew up to capture it. When they parted, she nestled against his chest, punching him lightly. Jerk, everyone's watching. Last time you bit my lip, and you did it again. Ethan chuckled. I'll be gentler next time. My fingers tightened around my glass, but I said nothing. While the guys replayed the clip, I stood and fetched the top shelf whiskey I'd stashed earlier. Damn, sis, you're generous. Pour it up. Tonight we drink till we drop. Booze alone is boring. Let's get nasty. Everyone confesses a secret nobody else knows. If you can't, you drink. Ruby's hand shot up. I'll start. I once stole Ethan's condoms and poked holes in them with a needle. The room froze. So that's why Shaylin got knocked up. Holy crap, Ruby, you evil genius. Ethan was clueless, thought Shaylin cheated on him. Ruby batted her lashes. Ethan, I was just messing around. How was I supposed to know you'd hit the jackpot? And with her reputation, who knows whose kid it was? Ethan didn't flare up, he only said, disgusted, not your fault. She was just unlucky. Told you he wouldn't be mad. If she hadn't felt guilty, she'd never have swallowed that blame. The moment Ruby finished, another guy jumped up. My turn. I once swiped the finance gal's wallet. Before the words settled, Ethan barked, so you're the thief. When they pinned it on Shaylin, why didn't you speak up? He scratched his head, grinning. Everyone knew Shaylin was poor. Whenever stuff disappeared, she was the default suspect. I'd lost some cash gambling, letting her take the fall was easy. Her name was already mud, one more stain didn't matter. Ethan gave a cold laugh. No wonder she came to me for a few grand and ended up trading her body. Turns out you drove her to it. Still, thanks. I'd chased her forever with no luck. Your stunt put her straight in my bed. The guy laughed it off. Pure coincidence, bro. More secrets spilled one after another. Soon it was Ethan's turn. He hesitated a long while, then clenched his jaw. I'm the one who turned Shaylin in for the pregnancy. Ruby burst out laughing. No wonder the company questioned everyone except you. Classic Ethan, used doing the right thing to wash your hands clean. When Shaylin accused you, people said she'd lost her mind. Only you could pull that off. Shaylin went to her grave and nobody believed her. Ethan looked smug. She tried to blackmail me with the baby. One kid, any girl would give me one. She wanted me to pay her family off. I wasn't playing that game. One payout leads to endless ones. The rest nodded. True, poor folks are bottomless pits. Smart move. Ruby turned to me, all apology. Sister-in-law, this all went down years ago. Ancient history. You won't hold it against him, right? Ethan waved it off. Luna's pure and sweet, she obeys without question. The cleanest girl I've ever met. Best part, she loves me to death. No matter what I do, she'll stand by me. The others nodded in agreement. Our sister-in-law really is more gracious than most. Exactly, otherwise we wouldn't be speaking so freely tonight. And's one lucky guy, landing himself such a sweet, virtuous wife. Ruby looked annoyed. Are we playing or not? Your turn, sister-in-law. Everyone held their breath and stared at me. They were dying to know what dirty little secret the well-behaved bride might be hiding. I smiled beneath their expectant eyes and dropped a bombshell. I'm clinically insane. Laughter exploded around the table. Sis, that's not how the game works. Take the shot, 3 of them. Yeah, only sane people claim they're crazy. Could you be any more dramatic? Ethan felt I'd embarrassed him, his face darkened. If you can't take the heat, don't make a spectacle of yourself. Sister-in-law, if you can't play, don't ruin the fun. Drink up like a good girl. Ruby lined up 3 full glasses and pushed them toward me. I didn't touch a single one. Instead, I swept my gaze slowly across every person at the table. You wanted a game, and I've indulged you. Now it's your turn to indulge me. Ethan finally snapped. Luna, even if you're jealous of my ex, this is childish. Ruby poured those for you, show some grace. Ruby sneered. So much for poise. Look how fast the mask slips. Ethan, your taste is overrated. A couple of guys shifted awkwardly. Ethan, we've all had a lot to drink. Maybe we shouldn't bring up your ex on your wedding night. Let's call it. I gave a cold laugh. Nobody leaves. You love games, so you'll play mine, willing or not. 5 Luna, you think you can throw a tantrum in front of the guys? Ethan grabbed a glass, meaning to force the penalty shots down my throat. Ethan, maybe drop it, right, it's your big day. The more they urged him, the more stubborn he became. I plucked the glass from his fingers and flung the wine straight into his face. He jerked back, blinking through the crimson streaks, stunned. Everyone froze. When they came to their senses, chairs scraped as they stood to leave. Ethan, it's late, we'll catch up another time. We'll head out, UT. We'll talk things through. I drew a switchblade and slammed it into the tabletop. I'm afraid the evening isn't over. Quit the game and you don't walk out. Just then one of the guys tried to stand but collapsed onto the couch. What the hell, I can't feel my legs. Same here, I can't even push myself up. Ruby shrieked, Luna, what did you spike the drinks with? Ethan gripped the edge of the table, struggling and failing to rise, his eyes bloodshot as he glared at me. Luna, stop now or I swear I'll divorce you even if you crawl begging. I twirled the switchblade between my fingers. It's just a little game. Can't take the heat, boys? I tipped the flat of the blade beneath Ruby's chin. Right, good buddy? She screamed and tried to shove me away, but her arms were limp. Ethan, where did you find this lunatic? Get her off me, she can't stand us being close. Ethan's voice cracked with panic. Let her go, Luna. She has a heart condition, she can't handle this. I studied her, excitement flickering in my eyes. A heart condition? Even better. I've never tried scaring someone to death. Luna, are you out of your mind? She twisted her face away, whimpering in terror. I tilted my head and smiled sweetly. I am out of my mind, way out. Ethan, help, she's crazy. Before the last word left her lips I drove the switchblade into her thigh. She shrieked and burst into sobs. 6 Sorry, she was too noisy, my hand slipped. So, are we playing, or are we playing? I sat back, cold amusement curling inside me. Their game is finished. Mine has only begun. The blade had sobered them faster than coffee. Seeing I meant business, they caved. Simple rules, I said. Brothers know each other's dirt. Self-confession is boring, let's air one another's filthy laundry. If your revelation isn't juicy enough, you pay with whatever you treasure most. I lifted a finger and pointed at random. The guy quivered, speechless. I began to count. 3, 2, okay. Ethan deliberately lost his adoptive parents' biological kid, he was scared they'd love their real son more and cut him out. The words tumbled out in a panicked rush. I raised my brows in mock enlightenment. So our esteemed golden heir is only a borrowed son, how quaint. Ethan, whose pride hinged on pedigree, flushed purple, ready to tear the traitor apart. I flicked the switchblade. Let's hear the next scoop. My finger landed on the bespectacled guy beside Ruby. He blubbered, I don't know anything, please, Ethan, help me. I sauntered over and laid the flat of the blade against his cheek. Don't know, or too scared to say? Think carefully, my grip's a little shaky tonight. I traced a lazy circle on his jacket and whispered, or, shall we find out the hard way? No, don't, I'll talk. Ruby was jealous of Shaylin's looks. To steal her spot in the overseas grad program, she paid some guys to rip off Shaylin's clothes, snap photos, and leak them. Those nudes were never taken willingly. Ruby's face drained of color. Liar. I never touched her. She had no shame, none of that was my fault. I've got proof, Ruby. Knew you'd deny it, so I kept an ace. The guy in glasses, shaking from head to toe, pulled out his phone and hit play. On screen, Ruby led a pack that cornered Shaylin and filmed the humiliation. I took the phone and watched the girl curled in the corner, stripped of every last dignity. My hand trembled. How desperate she must have felt. I couldn't let myself imagine. After a long moment I tilted my head and laughed. Good. Very good. My switchblade swung toward Ruby. Your turn. She was chalk white, sobbing in the corner, blood from her thigh soaking her pants, too terrified to bandage it. Shaylin jumped because of Ethan. She'd planned to go home after they expelled her, her gran was sick and alone. But Ethan was scared she'd spill the truth, so he spiked her drink, made her hallucinate, and sent her off the roof. Ethan lunged and started swinging. Shut your mouth, bitch. You swore you'd keep quiet. You're the one who said she was a loose end, so I acted. You played her and didn't want the fallout. Don't pin it on me. I let the two tear at each other, boredom on my face. Anything else? First come, first served, whoever spills the most dirt walks out alive. Hands shot up. Ethan and Ruby hooked up ages ago, Shaylin caught them once. They even passed Shaylin to the Deans. When she tried to run, a car hit her. Ruby skimmed her living allowance, Shaylin lived on plain buns for a month. I stared at the ceiling, blinking fast. So some creatures really do wear human skin while outdoing demons. Fine, I did it, so what? Ruby finally snapped. She's been dead 3 years. Are any of you saints? Luna, you should thank us. If we hadn't removed your rival, you'd never have married Ethan. Thank you? I smiled and pushed up my sleeve, bearing the birthmark on my arm. Everyone froze in horror. Even Ruby, broken moments ago, screamed and looked away. You're Shaylin? Impossible, she's dead. Ethan's eyes bulged, he couldn't process it. Are you ghost or human? Ruby tried to crawl off despite her wound. I fisted her hair and yanked her back. I smiled down at her. Monsters like you fear ghosts? After everything, did you ever feel a flicker of regret? No. 3 years on, you're still proud of yourselves. I shoved her hard and let her crash to the floor. Then I walked toward Ethan. He shook so violently his teeth rattled. You aren't Shaylin, who are you? I laughed, light and sweet, and wiped the cold sweat from his temple. Sorry, just a joke. Didn't mean to scare you. The dead don't rise, right? He exhaled in relief. Luna, you terrified me. I know the post-ceremony hazing pissed you off, but games have limits. You actually cut Ruby. I shook my head gently. Limits? We're only getting started. If we're playing, we play for keeps. Ruby crawled back, eyes venomous. Luna, let us go or you'll regret it. I tapped Ethan's chest with the blade. Your turn. If your secret's smaller than theirs, you pay the price. He sneered. Push this, Luna, and it won't end. Even if I lose, what can you do? I blinked innocently. Then you forfeit the thing you value most. The knife drifted downward. Don't joke, Luna, please. I swear I'll cut those guys off, apologize right now. I gave him an angelic grin. Too late. A guttural howl tore from his throat as he clutched the blood-soaked ruin between his legs, nearly passing out. She's insane, she's for real. I wiped the blade clean. Game's still on. Why so excited? Next round, something livelier. 9 of you, 8 straws. It's called Guess Who I Am. Winner gets 1 guess at my identity, guess right and you can leave. Friendly tip, losers die. I tossed the straws onto the carpet. The memory of the last 60 seconds sent them scrambling like rabid dogs, fists flying. I watched, delighted. When the dust settled, everyone sported fresh bruises and zero swagger. Ruby, fighting for Ethan's straw, had even stomped his wounded crotch twice. I clapped mockingly. Now for the rule I hadn't finished. Most straws loses, immediate penalty. No straws wins, 1 guess, 1 chance. What? Luna, are you playing us? Ruby was so terrified she flung away the 3 straws she had fought so hard to grab. I bent down, picked them up, and pressed them back into her hand. Yes, I'm playing you. What are you going to do about it? The 4 who had drawn nothing exhaled in relief. I gave Ruby a half smile. If you don't want to die, it's simple, just crawl between their legs. Luna, you bitch. She lunged to hit me. I kicked her legs out and she hit the floor. I advise you to think carefully. You get 1 chance. Ethan no longer spoke up for her. Instead he gloated, Ruby, you fought for this glory yourself, suffer it. I clapped. Come on. When you made others crawl you called it an honor. Now it's your turn and why? Oh, you're shy? Ruby knelt, burning with shame, and crawled beneath their legs. I closed my eyes for a second, hiding what flickered inside them. Then I applauded briskly. Now it's the four of you who have to guess. One stammered, you're not Shaylin, are you? I shook my head. No. Another wailed, then, her old granny? I spread my hands. Do I look like her? Ethan sprawled on the carpet. A friend of hers? Didn't you monsters bully her until she had no friends left? I laughed softly and offered a gentle reminder. Last chance. I remember now. I know who you are, someone suddenly screamed. She's. The man pointed at me, stuttering. There was a rumor Shaylin had an older sister in Riverside. I clapped again and walked toward him step by step. Congratulations, you're right. I'm the crazy sister you gossiped about. The confirmation sent fresh terror through them. Ethan looked more horrified than if he'd seen a ghost. Ruby's bladder gave out on the spot. I twirled the switchblade between my fingers. Before the final game, let me tell you a story. I had a little sister. Our parents died when she was 6. Her big sis, me, had a psychotic break while defending herself and killed a man, so the two of them were left with only our Gran. Gran collected trash to pay for her school, and the kid paid her back, top scores, admission to Belmont, part-time jobs to keep the lights on. But she caught the eye of demons. They marked her the moment she set foot in Riverdale. Her crime? Being beautiful. Beauty without money or power was her original sin. Still, she clung to life, odd jobs for Gran, weekend trips to Riverside to visit her locked-up sister. Before she jumped off the roof, she wired every dollar she had for my treatment and promised we'd never be parted. When I was finally stable and discharged, not one relative was left. Gran died at 80-something with no one to walk her to the grave. Tell me, do those demons deserve to die? They all cowered, inching away, afraid I'd snap. Ethan had lost so much blood he couldn't move. Ruby became the scapegoat, every sin was heaped on her. The guys who once called her bro now treated her like a death sentence. Remembering every filthy secret they'd bragged about, I laughed and wept, half mad. I used my own wedding to herd them into one room. Shaylin, are you watching? Not one of them will walk away. I tossed the switchblade to the floor. Final rule, only one person leaves this suite alive. Ruby's heart spasmed, she clutched her chest and knelt. Please, let me go. Did she beg you the same way? Did you let her go? I remained unmoved. You promised, guess right and we can leave, someone protested. I smiled sweetly. I gave you the chance. You used it. The man looked ready to drop dead on the spot. I stepped out and locked the door behind me. Inside, shouts and shrieks rose, then the wet sounds of struggle. I laughed. They deserved it. But if they died they'd only disturb my sister's peace. They're the toys Shaylin left me. So I dialed 911. Let them all live, so Shaylin never has to see them again. The sirens arrived fast. The room was wrecked, blood everywhere, yet no one died. Ruby was saved, but her mind shattered, she kowtows to anyone she sees, whimpering for mercy. Ethan lost the use of his legs and a few fingers, souvenirs from his groomsmen. The clues I left led his adoptive parents to their real son. Once they learned the truth, they threw Ethan out without a cent. The rest are broken or insane. The ones still walking jump at shadows, convinced every stranger is escaped from Riverside. I was dragged back to Riverside. There I met the new intake, Ruby and a few of the groomsmen, eyes vacant. I waved cheerfully. We're all brothers here, let's play games together. Shaylin, thank you for sending them to keep me company. Big sis will never be lonely again. Thanks for listening. If you liked the story, hit like and share. Tea with friends. We can't wait to read your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe for more tales. See you next time.